Okay, it's been about a week since I did a video. So anyway, busy week. Hey, last couple of days, been really some good pops in the market, but we all kind of fall into a trap every once in a while of trying to find that perfect stock. And I've been doing this for a bit. And believe me, I've done like most um, some mistakes and held on to those mistakes until it became really bad. But anyway, so I want to talk about why most investors fail a good portion of the time. And it's not because, they're not smart or they're just maybe chasing that shiny apple, the one stock here, like here I have GoDaddy up here. And it went on like 180% for '04, maybe 24 to 25, and then it ran out of gas. So this happens, and you know, last year we had Palantir went on a big run and kind of pooped out, and Robinhood went on a run and they pooped out. So if a stock doesn't have a lot of history behind it, and I say history, I need at least like 5 years of data, and it's been working out well since I come across this, trying to find some good quality stocks. Spent a lot of time on this, a lot of spreadsheets, and it's right up my alley. I really enjoy it. So when you have, okay, I have here the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 20. And the rule, which I try to use the majority of the time, because it's still hard to do, is if it drops below definitely the 50, it gets my attention. It can go below the 20, like here, go below the 20. But if it goes below the 50, got my attention, and I'm watching that 100 and seeing what happens. Like in this case, which I didn't own, this is only for an example here, it uh, went along nicely until it didn't. Well, so we're going to get there. So I like to keep it simple, and so we don't have stuff like this. I mean, this is going against, and I'm sorry if anybody still holds it. You could even put it on a 5 year chart, and it's not looking any better. What a perfect mountain. Um, so this is a broken stock. It's not coming back. What has it done for the year? 35%, 54%. Yeah, yeah. No, no, thank you. So what I do in, in order to find good stocks is, I want to make an educational guess because I think majority of the time we're still guessing and we're still hoping, but I put things in place to keep me centered into what I want to go, and I try to take the emotional part out of it. So with this, we'll go into this area here. So this is a spreadsheet that I have, and I call it the flips. So this is what I own. I made some changes. I have a couple of different accounts, so I brought a few over to have a better demonstration here. Um, so all these are above the 20, they're above the 50, the 100, the 200, and are they above all? Some are, some are. Costco, I've owned for a long time. I would never sell Costco. So although it says it, that's okay. It was $1,000 towards the end of last week, and everything else was not bottom feeders, but they were kind of struggling a bit. So now these are uh, kind of a bit of a rotation. But $6 is not much. Last 10 days, a little over 2% drop. Year to date, not happy with that, 14%. It normally does quite well. So anywho, let's continue here. So that's what I try to do. So that's my discipline. So in the morning, um, I try my best not to look at this every day. So those are my flips, and and these are the stocks. So between my flips and the actual stocks, I have it ranked, and if it's wrong, it just hold. Right now, Costco is the only one I'm watching in case it should, but like I said, I'm not selling it anyway. And everything else is working really good. So the rankings. Now, I shortened up my list for viewing purposes here. Maybe on the weekend, I'll look at my full list and see what's happening, and I try to stay away from the news and what's happening. This tells me what's happening, that and the charts. So right now, okay, Western Digital, okay, these overextended because they're like Sienna, 10% above the 20-day moving average and going all the way up to 1973% over. So that's pretty extended. If we look at okay, Western Digital, it's way up here. This is a weekly chart. This thing is, I don't know how long it's going to go for, but it's definitely going right now on a daily. It's right up there. So this is, if there was a big gap up, I mean a gap, and then a big pop up, I would have to consider it or trim it. Um, so that's what we got there. So we got my rankings, the flips, the stocks, and then my compounding machine. So I had calculated out, okay, Western Digital, 5 years ago, it was 51.95. And today's price is here. This is automatically calculated. So over the 5 years, it's gone up 604% with a CAGR of 47. I put this in a rocket category, and for fun, calculated out if 10 years ago you put $1,000 in, this is how much you would have. Now, I hope, and that should not be a part of trading, but we don't know exactly, is this going to continue um, with these high CAGR numbers, high percentages, rocket? Probably for sure that uh, Costco will still produce what it produces, and that'd be excellent. So you can see, $1,000, uh, and over 10 years, you would have almost seven. That's decent enough. Um, Now, there's definitely more to choose from. The list goes on. Excellent, going all the way down to strong and weak. So if on a compounding machine, where was it? Um, okay, so this one took off here big time yesterday. So if we put GoDaddy in here, what's going to happen here? Let's take a look. There it is. It'll take you 36 years to double your money. That's what that means. It's very weak. If you started with $1,000 after 10 years, that's what you would have. 820. So why go after stocks like that? Now, where do I get my ideas from? It all started back a few years ago. Here's the SPY. Here's the top 10 holdings. Earlier in the year, the top 10 holdings, these were all negative. And Microsoft still is. I mean, that was down at the end of last week. That was down 25% for the year. That's a hard one to swallow. And I know it's a Magnificent Seven, and some people say you gotta own it. It's a heavy compounder. A negative 20% is not gonna fly. Um, some of these other ones, NVIDIA, that's a compounder. Apple has done well over the years. Broadcom, I don't want to add everything to the list so we can, just talk about it. So, but what I like to do is go to year to date. Okay. And we have SanDisk, Light, Western Digital, 112% for the year. My one of my sons he had an account, wasn't doing much with it. He had a lot of just cash sitting there. It was in a retirement from IRA account from a previous job. So here he didn't do anything with it. And then he told me about it. That he moved it over and I don't know what to buy now. So we sat down, we went across this. And now that he's getting, a little bit older and a little bit wiser, asked some great questions. So I just had him buy like one share of this and one share of that. And I go based it on this. So now he has Micron, and he's up since November 98%. I mean, fantastic stuff. So Microsoft was not one of the picks I would have given him. And so this is where I get this stuff from. So I can look at this stuff and I can go, okay, let's look at 1 year. Okay, here's Corning. I own that for a good number of years now. And I think these things are doing well. Well, unfortunately, I have more than what I have in Costco. And as we already know, that's not really putting the world on fire. Here it is below the 20-day moving average. And it says sell, but I added on here just to reevaluate. So, I mean, it's going to have to drop a long way before I lose money on it, put it that way. Now, that's how I like to do this. So this is where I got my ideas, and then I chart them out. Everybody has their own little spreadsheet that they might like to use, and it works well. Qantas, my son has that one as well, and it doing okay. Dell, I know how to drop today, but doing well on that one as well. So those are ideas on how to find the good stuff. But if you have some stocks that you're not sure about or want to think about, put it in a comment. Hey, can you look at, Western Digital or any of your stocks? Hey, we'll put it up there on the next video, and we'll see what you think. You can list a few if you wish, and we'll have some little fun with this. Any other comments? Please go ahead and list those. Like and describe. Nobody has described yet, so if that continues, we'll just skip this life here. But okay, so that's it for now. Thanks very much. Bye.